Good evening, Guardians, TBL here, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the Destiny 2 beta. For this video, we're going to be talking about this week's Bungie Weekly blog for the week of July 20th, 2017. They actually address a couple of very important things. You've no doubt experienced what we're calling the slowed down, cool down environment. Well, if that's something you've been concerned about, good news. We get a little bit of an answer about that in this week's blog. Deej turns the mic over to Bungie beta lead design Rob England, who had this to say about some of our concerns. The PvE game tuning has changed pretty significantly since the beta build was deployed. The nature of a beta of this scale requires that it's based off of a build of the game that's now months old. So in many cases, your feedback is helping us validate changes that were previously made based on internal feedback and playtesting. For example, we too felt that ammo, especially power ammo, was too scarce in PvE. In addition to returning the drop rates, we built a system that guarantees power ammo drops for you and your fire team from certain enemies, giving power weapons a more reliable and predictable role in your arsenal. Other areas where we've made significant tuning changes include grenade effectiveness in PvE, boss vitality, and weapon damage against non-player combatants. And that right there addresses several of the complaints I myself, as well as many others in the Destiny community, have had with the Destiny 2 beta. It just felt like those beautiful purple bricks weren't dropping nearly enough. So Bungie making a change to make it so that certain enemies will always drop power ammo, definitely a good change. Maybe that shotgun, the retro futurist, will finally see some usage. But then after that, of course, grenade effectiveness. Grenades already recharge way too slowly, but have you seen the damage that they put out on enemies? It's kind of laughable. So it's good to see those are getting a bump up in effectiveness. Boss vitality is mainly self-explanatory. A lot of bullet sponges in this game, and weapon damage against non-player combatants. You definitely feel a little bit on the weak side with your primaries and your energy weapons in this. Although personally, of the grievances I've had with the Destiny 2 beta, that was probably the last thing on the list. Me personally, I'm really happy to see that they're going to be addressing the power ammo thing and that they're basically saying this is an older build of the game and hopefully some of these things will be tuned for the better when the full game comes out in September. Now moving on, later on in the blog we actually got some PvP matchmaking information. So what's new for matchmaking in Destiny 2? The obvious PvP evolutions are the 4v4 format and the two consolidated playlists, talking about the quick play playlist as well as the competitive. We hope these changes have a good impact on game quality. Destiny 2 Crucible matchmaking places a greater emphasis on connection quality, but make no mistake, skill is still a big component in finding worthy opponents for you to fight. Which, to be perfectly honest, sounds very familiar to some things we've heard before. But let me finish. When all these systems are singing in unison, it should help us reach our ultimate goal, to give all players, regardless of their skill, the best possible experience. While the new quick play and competitive modes are designed to serve different moods, they are using the same matchmaking settings that are in the beta. We'll be able to tune these separately post-beta, and your playtesting will help us going forward. For those of you who are wondering, we bucket you separately depending on the playlist, so your quick play skill is tracked separately from your competitive skill. Well, it looks very much like Destiny 2's matchmaking will be very similar to the system we have right now in Destiny 1, where it favors connection but also takes skill into the equation to ensure that you're put up against people who are on a similar player skill level to you. So yes, skill is going to have a determining factor in the matchmaking you'll be experiencing in Destiny 2. And in kind of a surprising note, the competitive and quick play playlist have separate skill weighting. So your stats in the quick play playlist are going to be calculated separately from your stats in the competitive playlist. Very interesting. Well, now if I were to give my perfectly honest opinion, I'm happy that they're focusing more on connection. I think for at least the quick play playlist, it should be focused entirely on connection. I don't really think skill should have any sort of component in there, especially when you've got a competitive playlist. That's what the competitive playlist would generally be for in a game like this. I haven't had too many laggy experiences in the beta for Destiny 2. They've certainly been there though, especially with the Arc Striders. If you run into a laggy Arc Strider, those things are almost impossible to hit. Kinda reminds me of Year 1 Blade Dancer. But I digress. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how this plays out when Destiny 2 is finally released. But alright Guardians, that's pretty much it for the 2 bits of big information that came out of the Bungie Weekly blog for the week of July 20th, 2017. I'm very happy to hear about the PvE tuning changes. In my opinion, that was one of the only big problems that I really had with the Destiny 2 beta. And of course, it's nice to get some sort of a peek at the way matchmaking is going to work in the full game. But alright, that's it for this one guys. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to let us know what you Guardians think down in the comment section below. Do you feel like matchmaking right now in the Destiny 2 beta is working well for you? Or would you like to see a more connection-focused future? Be sure to let us know. But alright, I'm out for now. Thanks so much for watching, Guardians. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.